Welcome back to Books to Riches. This time, we're diving into Anna Killing's A Complete Guide to Volume Price Analysis. Forget those crystal balls and get ready to, crack the market's code using a technique that's helped build fortunes since, well, the days of ticker tape. Now, this isn't about, day trading or getting rich quick schemes or anything like that. This is about, understanding the market's DNA to make informed decisions that build long-term wealth, ready to unlock your path to financial freedom.
Absolutely. Culling starts with a powerful image, you know? She calls price and volume the two leading indicators in trading. She says that together they're like gunpowder. She learned this firsthand from a secret, of course, on the HMS President, led by a trader named Albert Labose. Imagine that setting for learning to read the market's mind.
Okay, I'm picturing it. Clandestine meetings, whispers of market secrets. But what makes volume so critical? I mean, we all see price charts, but volume seems like an afterthought.
That's the mistake most people make. Price is just the surface. Volume tells you the force behind the movement, the conviction of buyers and sellers. It's like a detective looking beyond the crime scene to the motives.
So by understanding volume, I can avoid those fake outs where a stock jumps but then plummets.
Exactly. Culling calls it, she calls it the effort versus result principle. If there's huge price movement but weak volume, it's a red flag, like someone straining to lift a feather, you know? Something's off. Big price swings should have the volume to back them up.
Makes sense. So if I see a stock surging on low volume, maybe it's not as strong a buy as it seems.
Precisely. It could be a trap set by market makers, the wholesalers of the market. Culling uses a great analogy of Uncle Joe's widget warehouse. Imagine Uncle Joe spreading rumors to pump up the price of his widgets before dumping them on unsuspecting buyers.
So market makers are like Uncle Joe, creating artificial hype to buy low and sell high.
Exactly. And they often use news, even tragic events, to manipulate emotions. Culling shares a story about how some specialists exploited news of JFK's assassination to drive prices down and profit.
That's chilling. It reminds us that behind the numbers, there are real people. And not everyone plays fair.
Right. So VPA helps us see through the smoke and mirrors. It's about spotting the phases of accumulation and distribution, when the smart money is quietly buying or unloading shares.
So during accumulation, big players are buying, pushing the price up subtly, and then during distribution, they're selling off, creating a downward pressure.
Exactly. Culling says that by recognizing these phases, you can potentially buy when the smart money is buying and sell when they're selling. This is the key to building wealth over time.
This is fascinating, but how do I actually see these phases on a chart? What should I be looking for?
That's where those effort versus result clues come in. During accumulation, you might see increasing volume on up days and decreasing volume on down days. It signals strong buying and weak selling. The opposite is true during distribution.
So I'm looking for that confirmation from volume, Dave, to tell me if a price move is real.
Yeah.
Or just a temporary blip.
Exactly. Think of it like this. You see a stock jumping, but the volume is low. That's like a party with no guests. Something's not right. But if the volume is high, the party's on, and you might want to join in before it's too late.
All right, I'm starting to see the power of volume here, but there's still so much more to learn. This smart money thing.
Yeah.
Are there signs they're about to make a big move?
There are. Culling talks about, she talks about climaxes, both buying and selling. Think of it as the grand finale of each phase. A selling climax is like a clearance sale, where insiders dump their remaining shares. A buying climax is a frenzy, where they aggressively buy, driving the price way up.
So how do I spot these climaxes on a chart? Is it just about volume spikes?
It's more nuanced than that. We need to look for specific price and volume patterns and understand how they interact with support and resistance levels, the floors and ceilings of a stock's price movements. Think of them as the battlegrounds where buyers and sellers clash.
Okay, I'm seeing a whole new dimension to chart analysis here. It's not just lines and numbers, it's like a story unfolding.
It is. And in the next part, we'll delve into those support and resistance levels and how to use them with VPA to find those prime entry and exit points. We'll even look at real-life examples from Culling's own trades to see how she used these techniques to profit.
This is getting exciting. I can already see how this knowledge can help me make smarter decisions and avoid costly mistakes. I can't wait to learn more. Welcome back to Books to Riches. We're in the thick of it now, exploring how to use volume price analysis to make smarter financial decisions. Last time, Last time, we left off talking about those battlegrounds where buyers and sellers clash.
Yes, support and resistance levels, they're crucial for understanding where the smart money might enter or exit the market. Culling visualizes them like the floors and ceilings of a house. Support acts as a floor, preventing the price from falling further, while resistance acts as a ceiling, limiting upward movement.
Okay, so these levels provide a framework. But how do they work with volume? I'm guessing it's not just about finding those levels, but how price and volume behave around them, right?
Exactly. Imagine a stock approaching a support level. If the volume is increasing, it suggests genuine buying interest. The smart money might be stepping in to scoop up shares at a discount. But if the volume is weak, it might signal a false breakdown, a trap for the unwary.
So volume confirms the strength of that support level. High volume means it's more likely to hold, while low volume suggests it could crumble.
Precisely. And the same logic applies to resistance levels. If the price approaches a resistance level on increasing volume, it suggests strong buying pressure. That could break through that ceiling. But if the volume is weak, it might just be a fake out, a failed attempt to braid higher.
Okay, so volume acts as a sort of lie detector, telling us if a move is real or just market manipulation. This is making those charts come alive for me.
It is. Now, Coulling takes this a step further with dynamic trend lines. Instead of just horizontal support and resistance lines, she draws lines that connect the peaks and troughs of price swings, creating a visual guide for the trend.
So these dynamic trend lines give us a more fluid view of the market's direction, like following a river's flow rather than just looking at its banks.
Exactly. And again, volume is key. If a stock breaks above a dynamic trend line on increasing volume, it's a strong sign of a bullish breakout. The smart money is driving the price higher. Conversely, a break below on heavy volume suggests a bearish breakdown.
This is getting exciting. So with VPA, we're not just reacting to price, we're anticipating moves.
Yes.
Spotting the signs before the crowd catches on.
Precisely. It's like learning to read the market's body language. And speaking of body language, Coulling also uses candlestick patterns, like the shooting star and the hammer to confirm signals.
Okay, candlestick patterns. Those always seemed a bit mystical to me. How do they fit into the VPA framework?
Think of them as additional clues. For example, a shooting star. A candle with a long upper wick and small body cat often forms at the top of an uptrend. If it's accompanied by high volume, it's a red flag that the upward move is losing steam.
So it's like the market tried to shoot for the stars, but gravity pulled it back down. And volume tells us if that pullback is strong or just a temporary blip.
Exactly. And the hammer, basically a shooting star flipped upside down, often forms at the bottom of downtrend. High volume on a hammer suggests buyers are stepping in, potentially signaling a reversal.
All right, this is making those candlestick patterns make a lot more sense. So we've got support and resistance, dynamic trend lines, candlestick patterns, all validated by volume. What else does Coulling have up her sleeve?
Well, she delves into some fascinating advanced concepts, like volume at price, or VAP. It's like a heat map of the market, showing you where the most significant buying and selling pressure has occurred in the past.
A heat map.
Yeah.
That sounds intriguing. So it shows me where the smart money has been active, even if it was months or years ago.
Exactly. And those historical price levels often act as strong support or resistance in the future. Imagine a stock approaching a price level where there was huge buying volume in the past. Chances are buyers will step in again, creating a floor for the price.
So VAP gives me a historical perspective,
Yeah.
like looking at a battlefield map to see where the fiercest battles were fought. Those are likely to be strategic locations in the future as well.
Exactly. It adds another layer of insight to those support and resistance levels, helping you identify the strongest ones. And speaking of strong indicators, Coulling also introduces the Cumulative Delta Volume indicator, or CDV.
Okay, that sounds intense. What exactly does cumulative delta volume tell us?
It tracks the net difference between buying and selling volume over time, giving you a running tally of the market's momentum. It's like a tug-of-war between buyers and sellers. If CDV is rising, buyers are winning, creating upward pressure. If it's falling, sellers are in control.
So it's like an overall sentiment indicator, showing me the dominant force in the market. But why is that so valuable?
Because it can reveal divergences between price and volume, which are often early warning signs of a reversal. Imagine a stock making new highs, but the CDV is falling. That suggests weakening buying pressure. Even though the price is still rising, it's a red flag that the uptrend might be losing steam.
Wow, that's powerful. So by combining these advanced VPA techniques, VAP, CDV, With the basics, we can really get a comprehensive view of the market.
Precisely. And Coulling doesn't stop there. She even touches upon alternative charting techniques, like equivolume and candle volume charts, though she emphasizes that traditional VPA, with its focus on time, remains the most robust and reliable approach.
This is all incredibly insightful, but it's a lot to take in. Are there some key takeaways, some practical advice Coulling offers to help us apply all this to real-life trading?
Absolutely. In the next part, we'll delve into Coulling's practical advice. From managing risk to spotting those prime entry and exit points, we'll even explore how she used VPA to successfully trade stocks like Duke Energy and navigate the fast-paced world of Forex and futures markets. Get ready to put this knowledge into action.
Welcome back to Books to Riches. We're in the home stretch now, wrapping up our deep dive into Anna Couling's A Complete Guide to Volume Price Analysis. We've covered a lot of ground, from spotting those smart money moves to understanding how volume validates trends and signals. Now, how do we put all this into practice?
Well, Coulling, she walks us through some real-life examples, showing how she used VPA to profit. One that stood out was her analysis of Duke Energy, a stock she and her husband have traded successfully.
Okay, let's hear it. I'm always eager for real-world examples, especially when it comes to, making money.
In this case, they noticed Duke Energy's price was rising, but the volume wasn't keeping pace. Remember that effort versus result principle? This was a red flag. Despite the upward trend, the lack of volume suggested weakening momentum.
So even though the stock was going up, they saw trouble brewing beneath the surface.
Exactly. And sure enough, the price started to drop, confirming their suspicions. But here's where VPA gets really interesting. They didn't just panic and sell. They watched carefully, waiting for signs of a potential reversal.
So they were looking for those effort versus result mismatches again, like a sudden drop in price, but with relatively low volume, suggesting the selling pressure wasn't as strong as it seemed.
Precisely. And that's exactly what they found. The price kept falling, but the volume wasn't as high as one would expect for such a sharp decline. This told them the selling pressure was being absorbed, and the downward move might be losing steam.
Okay, I'm seeing how patience pays off here. They didn't just react to the price drop. They waited for volume to confirm their suspicions.
Right. And then came the low volume test. The market attempted a small rally, but the volume was extremely low. This was a classic sign that the smart money was testing the waters, checking for any remaining sellers. The low volume indicated most selling pressure was exhausted, signaling a potential reversal.
So they saw that low volume rally as a sign of strength, not weakness, like the market was catching its breath before making a move higher.
Exactly. And they seized the opportunity. They bought in as the market started to turn around, and Duke Energy went on to make significant gains. That's the power of combining patience, observation, and VPA.
It's like they were reading the market's mind, anticipating its next move. Now, I know Coulling also trades Forex and futures. Does VPA work in those fast-paced markets as well?
Absolutely. Coulling shares examples of how she used VPA to profit from currency fluctuations in futures contracts. In one Forex trade, she noticed a large, wide-bodied candle with a deep wick on the upside. This suggested strong selling pressure, but the volume wasn't particularly high.
Another effort versus result mismatch. The price action screamed, sell, but the volume didn't back it up.
Right. She recognized this discrepancy as a potential trap and took a short position, anticipating a reversal. And she was right. The market turned around and she exited with a profit.
This reinforces the idea that volume is our guide, even in the most volatile markets. Now, what about practical advice? Besides patience and observation, what are some key takeaways from Coulling's book that can help us achieve financial freedom?
Well, she emphasizes the importance of aligning yourself with the smart money. Buy when they're buying, sell when they're selling. And remember, volume is your window into their intentions.
Right. It's like following the footprints of the experts, using volume as our map.
Yeah.
But she also stresses risk management, right? I mean, even with VPA, we can't win every trade.
Absolutely. Coulling is adamant about protecting your capital. She advocates using tools like stop-loss orders, which automatically sell your position if the price drops below a certain level, limiting your potential losses.
So it's about having a safety net, knowing when to cut your losses and preserve capital for the next opportunity.
Exactly. And she also emphasizes position sizing, Kate, not betting the farm on any single trade. Instead, spread your risk across multiple positions and never invest more than you can afford to lose.
That's crucial advice for anyone entering the market. Now, besides those practical tips, what's Culling's overall philosophy when it comes to achieving financial freedom?
She believes it's a journey, not a destination. It requires patience, discipline, continuous learning, and adaptation. The market is always evolving, so stay curious, keep exploring new techniques, and refine your skills over time.
It's not just about mastering VPA. It's about mastering yourself, your emotions, your impulses. This has been an incredibly insightful journey, and I feel equipped with a powerful new tool to navigate the financial markets.
I'm glad to hear that. Remember, Culling's book is packed with even more insights and examples. It's a treasure trove of knowledge for anyone seeking to achieve financial freedom.
Absolutely. Huge thank you to Anna Culling for sharing her wisdom, and to you, our listeners, for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of volume price analysis. We hope you've gained valuable insights that will empower you on your own journey to financial freedom. Until next time, happy trading and investing.